The Legend of Cropsey started as nothing more than a local ghost story, whispered by kids in Staten Island. Cropsey, they said, was an escaped mental patient who lived in the abandoned ruins of the old Willowbrook State School, hidden deep in the woods. He would come out at night, especially around Halloween, and snatch children who wandered too far from home. They'd never be seen again. But unlike most urban legends, this one began to blur with reality. In the 1970s and 80s, a series of real child disappearances terrified the residents of Staten Island. The most unnerving part, these disappearances happened near the same abandoned grounds that had long been associated with the Cropsey myth, Willowbrook State School. The school itself was infamous, a grim institution for children with intellectual disabilities. When it was shut down in 1987, after a history of abuse and neglect, it left behind a desolate, crumbling campus overtaken by weeds and rot. It was exactly the kind of place where dark legends are born. In the summer of 1987, a real-life horror story unfolded. A 12-year-old girl named Jennifer Schweiger, who had Down syndrome, disappeared. For weeks, volunteers combed through Staten Island, searching desperately for her. Their search eventually led them to the abandoned grounds of Willowbrook, and it was there, in a shallow grave near the ruins, they found her body. The prime suspect was a man named Andre Rand. He was a drifter and former employee of Willowbrook, known to camp out in the surrounding woods. People had seen him with Jennifer the day she went missing. Rand was arrested and later convicted of her kidnapping, though authorities believed he was responsible for her death. There was never enough solid evidence to charge him with murder. But Rand's connection to other missing children made the case even more chilling. For years, children had disappeared from Staten Island under eerily similar circumstances. Holly Ann Hughes, Alice Pereira, Tia Hiz Jackson. Each of them vanished without a trace, and Rand was suspected in several of their cases. The pattern was impossible to ignore, but concrete evidence remained elusive. Rand was eventually convicted in connection to 2 disappearances, including Jennifer's. Still, the bodies of the other children were never found. The full extent of his crimes remains unknown. The story of Cropsey had always been fiction, until it wasn't. The parallels between the myth and reality were too close to dismiss. A disturbed man, hiding in the shadows of an abandoned institution, preying on the vulnerable. Cropsey was supposed to be just a ghost story, but Andre Rand's existence made it all. Even after Rand's conviction, the mystery and fear surrounding him linger. He never confessed to the other disappearances, and the fact that many of the missing children were never found leaves an unsettling feeling in the air.